let's go. The bell ring, excitement hits the crowd. Soon it's gonna happen, but they want blood now. The men whistle while the women sit and growl. Seleziya Sparx, down the...
Hey, Greg here, founder of www.wrestling-divas.webs.com, your source for highlighting the most beautiful and deadly entertainers in professional wrestling. Joining me right now via Skype for my next interview, all the way from Canada, is a professional wrestler who is the current reigning Magnificent Championship Wrestling Women's Champion. And trust me, this is not an interview that you want to skip over, so I'd like to welcome my next special guest, the bedazzling Sass Queen, Seleziya Sparx. Hi, Seleziya, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing really well, and something tells me that I'm gonna remember this interview forever. I wonder why. I hate to switch gears and kind of go into a sad subject, but you are injured right now, and your injury does require surgery. So would you mind speeding us up to date on how the injury is going and the time frame of your recovery?
I'm going to be getting surgery next month, July 17th. I was on a cancellation list, and thankfully somebody canceled, so I'm trying to get this dealt with as soon as I can. Yep.
So, that's one of the things about the wrestling industry, is that you never know when injuries will happen, but you definitely know that you're going to get hurt at some point. And one of the things that I read up on you in your career, and one thing that I think makes you very special, is that unlike many, many others in this industry, you did not have an athletic background prior to becoming a pro wrestler. So was it at all shocking, the amount of physicality that was involved with the training aspects and taking the bumps, and what kind of wake-up call did your body have after going through all of that?
It was, of course, shocking at first. I came from doing absolutely no sport whatsoever to doing wrestling, so that was, really hard on my body, but then eventually, it was really hard at the beginning, but then your body gets used to it, much like everything else, and yeah, my body just got used to it.
So you did train with a couple other females in your class, but of course wrestling is still a male-dominated industry, so were you at all under pressure, or did you feel a lot of stress trying to prove yourself to the rest of the guys that were kind of setting higher standards for you in your class?
I always feel like I have to prove myself, regardless whether I'm working with females or males. I'm a person who always tries to be the best that I can be in anything that I do. But yeah, I guess it did just get a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes, but it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle.
You entered the wrestling industry at a relatively young age, even for the standards of professional wrestling. And it can be quite challenging trying to get into the industry that young, because you have a lot of dues to pay and a lot of things to get used to and a lot of politics to kind of realize and everything of that nature. So what advice would you give to someone your age who is looking to pursue a career in professional wrestling?
I would tell them to just take advice, as much advice as you can from anyone, and take it to heart, listen to everything everyone has to say, remain humble, and work as hard as you can, and yeah, definitely pay all your dues.
Being special is quite honestly one of the hardest things to be in the wrestling industry, because it's a huge copycat industry, and being special is really important. And they always say that your wrestling character always derives from one special quality that makes the real you, you. So, your character, Seleziya Sparx, where did the roots of that character stem from, as far as your personality goes?
Seleziya Sparx is pretty much a drunk Seleziya. She's over the top, she yells a lot, she talks a lot of trash, but, I back it up, with my skill. I train hard enough to be
That is honestly one of the most memorable answers that I'll ever get in any interview I do. So I'm gonna remember this one. There's a lot that goes on into putting a wrestling show on in front of the fans, and there's a lot that wrestling fans don't see that happens behind the scenes, and many workers would argue that behind the scenes kind of aspect is the hardest part of living the professional wrestling lifestyle, because the performance part is, for the most part, what everyone enjoys, including the wrestlers themselves. So, how do you get used to all of that backstage drama and make sure that you don't burn any bridges?
You just pretty much gotta choose your friends wisely, like stay humble, like keep out of everyone's drama, just do your own thing and be nice to people.
Some find out really fast that getting a contract with a big televised company such as the WWE is truly like winning the lottery. There's 2 major companies on standard cable, and that's it. And if you haven't been a part of those 2 companies at any given point, then you haven't been a part of the big time. So, how do you make sure that you're satisfied with your progress in wrestling, even if you may never make it there?
It's hard. You just gotta like try it. You have to have some faith, right? I'd rather try my best and not make it rather than just not trying at all, and then thinking back and saying, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, right? And if you really like enjoy doing it, then there's no reason for you to just give up just because you didn't make it.
So, speaking of the WWE, that company has been criticized for the use of its female talents and how they portray their quote-unquote diva, especially since a majority of them these days are just models who are hired and don't have any wrestling experience and probably wouldn't have gone into wrestling if they didn't get a contract with the company. But then there are some like Michelle McCool and Layla who are popular with fans and who really want to put on a good show. So, do you have a personal opinion on what the WWE is promoting out there as far as their diva division goes?
It's upsetting that some models will get the job that other people put their all into and like don't get it just because they don't look a certain way. But that being said, I do think that if you want a job like that, then you should look the part. WWE wants people that can draw a crowd. If you don't draw a crowd, then there really is no need for you.
So your character, Seleziya Sparx, is mainly a heel most of the time, and all the fans just really despise her, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of why she's so hated. So if you wouldn't mind having her talk to me, I'd love to kind of interview Seleziya Sparx herself.
Let me ask her if she's okay with it. Yeah, she said she's okay with it.
Oh, well, I'm honored to be graced by her presence. Joining me right now is the Sass Queen, Seleziya Sparx. And, Seleziya, I have to ask you, you have had a major feud with the likes of, Xandra Bale and Gabriella Vanderpool and,
Gabriella Vanderblock.
Okay.
That's her name.
Okay, that's her name. Well, yeah, thanks. And it's been going on for quite a long time, so when is this feud going to settle and come to an end and find out?
I don't think it'll ever come to an end because they seem to think that they can challenge me, and I don't even know why they think they could even step in the ring with me, because I am the sexiest, the greatest, the smartest wrestler in Ontario. I don't even know why they think they should step in the ring with me.
Well, they have beaten you a couple of times. I mean, can't you just...
I recall I've beaten them more than they've ever beaten me. And if they have beaten me, it's probably because they cheated.
Well, going back to what you've been doing in wrestling, you've been backing this guy up named Sebastian Suave, and apparently he's, the cat's meow and all about being rich, and showing everybody up. So why back up a guy like that? I mean, do you honestly think he's the best guy in the world?
That's right. Obviously, I wouldn't back up somebody who wasn't the best guy in the world. I backed him up because I believe that me and him are the greatest female and male wrestlers in Ontario, and it won't be long before we take over the rest of the world.
Well, I have to ask you, Seleziya, there are a lot of females in this industry, so what do you believe makes you so special? Because all the fans, when they see your matches, just totally hate on you all the time.
Because they're jealous. That's why the fans hate me.
Well, don't you think there's a reason for their kind of hate? I mean, why not try to be nice to them or something?
Why would I be nice to somebody, to people that are beneath me? They are peasants. They pay to watch me wrestle.
And finally, Seleziya, when your career has run its course, and a lot of people might say that regrettably it won't come for a long time, but when you finally decide to retire after however long you're going to be in the business for, what do you want to be remembered for?
Sorry, go on.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. And please don't hang up on me if I accidentally interrupt you. It's a huge honor to be interviewing you, so I don't want to get in your way or anything, but
I don't have to get in my way.
But what do you want to be remembered for when your career has run its course?
I want to be remembered for my talent, my look. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest female wrestlers who have ever stepped in a ring.
And I have to ask you, regular, everyday, normal Seleziya, if you could sum up your experience in professional wrestling as a professional wrestler in just one word, what would that one word be?
I think it's been odd.
That's
weird.
No, that's one of the most interesting answers to that question. I've always enjoyed asking that one. So that's another part of this interview that I'll definitely remember. And finally, how can fans contact you if they want to send you some fan mail or Seleziya some fan hate or or bookers if they want to book Seleziya and pay for a very expensive booking fee? How can they do that?
You can contact me or you can follow me on Twitter, and it's at Seleziya Sparx, or you can email me at seleziya@hotmail.com, or you can even join my fan page on Facebook, and it's just Seleziya Sparx.
Well, I really have to hand it to you, Seleziya. It seems like you definitely are heading in the right direction that successful wrestlers need to head in, so I certainly thank you for your time, and this is cool because this is my first interview that's technically being recorded from Canada, so you do hold that honor. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks to everyone else for listening in. Be sure to check out www.wrestling-divas.webs.com for more updates and content, and be sure to follow Wrestling Divas at Wrestling Divas. Again, always with a Z at the end for all the latest updates.